Okay, you're gonna have to pay attention on what's happening here and here. Okay, let's go. Hey guys, do you know what kind of anomaly this is? Do you think I can, like, get inside? Get inside and you'll find out firsthand how it feels to be a pancake, Chiquitos. Okay, it was a dumb question, but you didn't have to say it like this. So what's the best thing about being an ecologist in the zone? It's knowing you'll end up buried under the same dirt you studied. What do I even reply to this? What happened to Venka? Did he trip or something? If tripping means Chiquito shoved a bullet in his back, then sure, he tripped. Hey, you can see this is not a clickbait title, come on. It is actually one of the most impressive mods I've seen in a while, at least on a technical level. It's also kind of funny because it's a mod I would have never been interested into on my own. It's kind of a role player wet dream, and I'm not really a role player, but I have to say this one is really starting to grow on me. So today we are talking about Talker, a mod that uses AI to bring NPCs and companions to life through live dialogue generation and allows you to directly talk to them with your microphone if you want to. It follows a bit in the same steps as the Mantella mod for Skyrim, for example, if you're familiar with it. Right now, it's powered by the OpenAI API, so ChatGPT, and it's built for Stalker Anomaly, so it will work on vanilla Anomaly, obviously, but also most Anomaly-based mod packs. I did most of my testing in Gamma, for example, and it pretty much worked flawlessly out of the box. There's a lot to talk about, from the technical aspects, how does it work exactly, the state of the mod right now, and all its features, what might be coming later, or not, my experience playing with it, and do I think something like this works in terms of immersion in the Stalker games, and more concrete questions, like how much does it cost to run, because the mod is free, the code is open, but we're using OpenAI API to power it, and that's not free. Is there any alternatives using other AI models, local ones? Is there any performance impacts on the game? Actually I can answer this question already, because there's none. There's no performance impacts, but we'll go more into details later. So yeah, we have a lot to talk about, and of course, as usual, you will find all the links in the video description and a full installation and setup tutorial if you want to try it out at the end of the video. I was very lucky to have a long conversation with Dan, the main and single developer of the project, where we talked about pretty much everything about the mod. If you're interested in knowing more about all the technical details, the different features, and how they work behind the scenes, like get much deeper than what we're gonna do in this video, and funny stories from the development process, why Talker wouldn't be here today without an obscure butt plug anomaly mod. Yes, you heard me correctly. I'll post the full interview on the secondary channel. This video here is more for like a quick review, and I couldn't fit all the cool stuff we talked about into it. The link will be in the description if you want to check it out. Okay, let's get started. So on a basic level, Talker enables companions and NPCs to observe what's happening in the game and comment on it if they feel like it. For example here, while hunting fleshes with a group of bandits, one of them dropped a "Bacons on the menu, boys." They can have really funny punchline. Or for example here, while I was playing duty and messing with freedom in army warehouses, my companion got impressed apparently because I was starting to get a lot of kills. And it's not only your companions. Here I'm walking accidentally in radiation while a loner patrol is not far, and they drop this absolute punchline. If Chiquito starts glowing in the dark, at least we'll save on flashlights. They really like these glowing in the dark because of radiation jokes. It's like the Stalker dad jokes, pretty much. There's a very long list of triggers that the mod can recognize, and it will prompt NPCs to react to them. Killing other stalkers, mutants, getting too close to some anomalies, walking in radiation, the location you're in, the weather, your weapon jamming. There's a lot of things they can react to. So that's the first layer. On the secondary level, you can interact with any NPCs by directly talking to them through your microphone. The mod will transcribe what you say, and you will quickly get a live reaction from them. It can be very simple things, like commenting on the weather, for example. What a beautiful day, right? If you consider acid rain and the screams of the damn beautiful, then sure, it's a hell of a day. You can notice how they perfectly get the sarcasm of my statement too. And you can use this to trigger some simple reactions from NPCs. One of my favorite is simply singing when I'm bored walking around and having them telling me to shut up and be quiet, but it gets much deeper than that. First, they will understand who you're talking to. You can address people by their names and they will understand that you're talking to them. It sounds obvious, but on a technical level it's already pretty impressive that it works. Yo Bodan, could you play something else? It's a bit too melancholic for me. Can't help the mood, man. Zone's got its own rhythm, and I'm just here to play along. Obnoxious, like every artist. Especially because it's not necessarily just calling them by their names. Where it gets really impressive is that they will also understand who you're talking to from the context of the situation. By default, it's your companion that will reply to you when you say something. Because, well, they're the only one around you most of the time, so it's obvious that you're talking to them. But for example here, I'm playing Ecologist, I'm visiting the military base in Agroprom with my 2 Ecologist companions. Hey soldier, I love your weapon, what are you using? You can see that the soldier understood I was talking to him. It's not one of my companions who replied to me. And he knows which weapon he has in his hands too. So I decide to keep messing with him a little bit. How much can I buy your weapon for? And here it's Roman, my companion, who decides to reply to me. Not you, Roman, shut up, I'm talking to the military guy. Which is not very surprising because he's been a sassy smartass with me the whole morning. And here you can see 2 things. The military guy jumped back in the conversation, understanding that I was talking about him, and he also remembers my last question about me wanting to buy his gun. And here we dive into what makes the mod so immersive and so impressive technically. So first, each faction will have an overall personality. Ecologists are nerds, bandits are dicks, monoliths are fanatics and so on. So being in a specific faction will influence NPC's dialogue on a big picture scale, let's say. Then every individual NPC will have some random personality traits assigned to them to give them a bit of flavor and make them more interesting. The result is that I've had some companions I found really funny and interesting, really enjoyed the way we exchanged, the sassy ones are the best, and some of them were just boring or too serious or just like not my cup of tea, like in real life pretty much. You don't get along with everybody. And the fact that they remember things, they have memory, it elevates everything to a new level and makes having a realistic, open conversation with a group of NPCs even more fun. For example, it starts making things like this possible. So we're back with my little bandit group. One of them is called Duck and he has a cool heavy coat. I like the style, so I ask him. Yo Duck, I like your jacket. Where did you get it? Traded some artifacts for it, figured it would keep me warm when the zone decides to freeze my ass off. Okay. So you can notice he knew I was talking to him out of the 3 other people, by the way, and his answers are perfectly in universe. We keep bantering for a while, and he finally agrees to sell me his jacket at some point. Then, a couple minutes later, while going back to base after finishing a mission, I walked in a radiation patch by accident. You have a first companion that tells me to be careful, but look at Mikas. Damn, Chiquitos, you trying to mutate so you can match your new jacket? On top of making fun of me, it's a joke based on the jacket conversation we had before, and in these moments I'm like, yo, this is actually really good. Basically, any event that happens around them or that they witness has a chance to become a memory they will remember, and it might come up in a later conversation. And this, in terms of immersion, is just amazing. That's why I was saying at the beginning that this mod is a role-player wet dream. You can have full adventures, really grow attached to your companions, share stories together, and especially in an open world, make your own adventure format like Anomaly offers, it adds a completely new layer to the game experience. It can come from simple interactions that perfectly blend in regular gameplay. For example, here, as a bandit, I need to get rid of some loners, I hear some gunshots in the distance, mission gets completed, so I figured, okay, they probably got killed by someone else. And I meet a bandit group right after, so of course I ask them about it.
Ты чё, охлял?
Yo, Vovan, did you kill the last stalker? That was my hit.
Ну ты загадочный.
First guy replies, no, it's not him, and I wouldn't get anything anyways, even if it was. And the other is like, guys, can we stop fighting and focus on surviving? I don't know, it's just perfect. You can see the different personalities, it perfectly makes sense with what just happened. It's simple, it's nothing crazy, but simple interactions like this elevate the gameplay to a new level. And because NPCs make memories from previous events or interactions, you can gaslight them pretty hard, with very unpredictable results sometimes, or just give them a background story that you enjoy, like simply pretend you've known them for years and share history, and they'll remember that. You can really push it pretty far if you want to, and it can get really, really fun. The mod is of course not perfect. I think the best way to describe it right now is a really good working proof of concept. It still has a lot of little quirks, lots of triggers can happen sometimes that make the dialogue a bit spammy, messages disappear a bit too fast, but I think it should be fixed soon. It's more like little annoyances than anything game breaking, and it's very stable so far. It didn't like crash my game or had like any performance impact or anything. I think my main issue right now is that everybody is very verbose. The content of every reply is different, you can really see the different styles or character traits of the NPCs, but the structure of every sentence is very similar, and it often uses too many words, too many big words. The average stalker is way too educated and poetic, but I'm sure this is something that can be fine-tuned with a different prompting. Don't even think the model used is the issue here. Feels like the rust and radiation have fused this whole place into one big breeding beast ready to bite. Jesus Christ, bro, are we like PhD bandit or something? You sound way too smart for a bandit, Mikas. When you walked this hellhole as long as I have, you either get smart or get dead. Now move. Okay, that's a good reply. And it's kind of funny because the mod and models are so efficient that sometimes replies come too fast. You would expect big delays to get an answer, but no, after what you said has been transcribed, it's pretty much like an immediate reply, which feels almost unnatural sometimes. As I said at the beginning, you do need to put some money into the OpenAI API to get started, but the mod is actually stupid cheap to run. After a couple days of testing and talking a lot to everyone to try things out, I'm averaging like 3-4 cents an hour, and it's using GPT-4o at the default model. You can scale down to mini if you want. The quality of the dialogue will take a hit, obviously, but it's like 20 times cheaper. You will pretty much never run out of money. Using other models is technically possible, even something you could run locally on your own computer, but this runs into a brand new set of issues. It's an interesting topic, and you can check out the interview, again, if you want to know more about this, because we talked extensively about it. I honestly cannot say for sure what the future of the mod will be. Dan, the developer, made it pretty clear that he's releasing it right now because it's in a working state and he won't have a lot of time to keep working on it, at least not as much as he did until this point. He's got a long list of features he'd like to implement, but it's just a wish list at this point. It's a pretty big challenge, as right now the mod is about NPCs observing and commenting about the world around them, and the next natural step would be actually interacting with the world, giving comment to your companions and them acting on them in the game, for example, asking for food, medicine, water, and NPCs actually giving items to you if they agree, of course, and a lot more that you can hear about in the interview if you want to dig deeper. In the end, I think my favorite thing is that you don't really have to make a commitment to the mod. As I said at the very beginning of the video, I am not a role player, I don't really care for it. I thought this mod would feel like a gimmick, a cool technical demo of something you can do, that's it pretty much. But actually, the fact that you can just let it run while you play without thinking too much about it, and it suddenly enhances your experience without needing you to do anything, and sometimes out of nowhere your companion drops an absolute gold of a punchline, I think that's how the mod started growing on me. And if you like role-playing, you can really dig deep into it, interact a lot, have a lot of conversation with NPCs, you're probably gonna have a blast doing it. The only thing I can tell you is that now, when I don't have the mod running, it feels like I'm missing out on something, and I can't give it a better compliment than this. Okay, let's go over the installation process. You will see it's very fast and very easy. So the first thing we're going to do is go to the OpenAI platform website, so platform.openai.com, and you just create an account or sign in if you have one already. Then on the top right, you're going to go to settings. Then on the left, you're going to go to the API keys, and you're going to create a new API key. That's it pretty much. Give it whatever name you want, and do not share this with anybody. Do not show this to anybody. Just save it somewhere because we're going to need it later in the installation. Then you're going to go to billing, and here we're going to have to put a little bit of money in our account. That's the that's the painful step. Unfortunately, the minimum to put is $5, so yeah, it's going to cost you $5 at least to run the mod. We'll see, maybe in the future there's going to be some free options or like local models or something, but right now we don't have a choice. After it's done, if you want to be really safe, you can go to usage limits and put a limit of spending here. I just put $2 for example, just to be safe. Okay, we are done with OpenAI, now let's install the mod. Okay, so first on the Talker GitHub page, you're gonna download Talker. I'm gonna use my Gamma installation for this example, but you can use it with any anomaly-based mod pack or even vanilla anomaly. You just need mod organizer and ideally mod configuration menu. If you don't know how to set this up, you can go check this video. I'm not gonna go over everything here. Okay, so we downloaded our Talker archive. We can install it like any other mod. You right-click, install mod, and go select it. That's it pretty much. And before we do anything else, we need to go in our Talker folder. So if you don't know where to install your mods, you go to settings, path, and the link is going to be here. And using that information, we're going to go find our Talker folder. In there, you're going to launch your Talker-Mike executable. You're going to copy-paste the key we created on the OpenAI website, and you're going to press enter. And here, it should tell you that the key is successfully loaded. Keep this window open, and now we can go back to Mod Organizer, make sure that your Talker mod is turned on, and you can start your game. You know what, I just remade a fresh install for the video, so let me make sure that everything is working. And of course, you always need to have the Talker executable running with your game for everything to work, so don't forget to launch it, pretty much. Before you start, you can go to the mod configuration menu, you can find Talker there, and technically you can change the default model you're using, the language, the key to use your microphone. There's a couple options you can check out if you want. So if we did everything correctly, it should say all Talker modules loaded at the bottom of the screen. Yes, perfect. Hey Kovalev, haven't seen you in a while, what's up? Okay, everything's working, beautiful. So you can see the mod is extremely easy to install. Okay, enjoy.